Welcome to an Information R Us scam alert. Yeah, even with 35 years in the industry, I got scammed in this first week of June. Here's how I found out about it. My name is Ted Sieber. I've been writing software for 35 years. I started when floppy disks were still floppy. I've worked through the dot-com boom, the dot-com bust, the rise of cloud computing, now the age of AI taking over and making all the same mistakes that we did back in the dot-com boom and bust era. I've been enterprise architect at Intel, a data warehouse lead, a tech mentor for international teams, an agile lead on projects spanning 4 time zones in 3 different continents. In other words, I know computers, I know technology, I know how systems work, and yet in June of 2026, I almost got scammed anyway. This video is the story of how it happened, how I caught it, and what you need to know to protect yourself. Because if it can get my attention, it can get anyone's. In the span of 1 week, I exchanged 8 emails with someone claiming to be a Boeing hiring manager. They sent me a professionally designed job description. They scheduled a Google Meet interview. They complimented my resume. Every single step looked real, but here's the bottom line up front. The domain they used to contact me admittedly in the signature line, BoeingHR.com, was registered 11 weeks before they emailed me. It was in behind a privacy service in Iceland, and it had nothing to do with the Boeing company. This is how I know. Let's walk through it together. It started on June 1st with an email from Kavin Hunt, spelled Kavin, claiming to be a hiring manager at Boeing's talent acquisition and workplace planning team. Now look at this email address, kevin.hurt0 at gmail.com. That's a Gmail address, not a Boeing address, not even Boeing HR address. Just plain old-fashioned Gmail. The email said, and I'm reading directly from it, I came across your background at Information RS and Intel, and your experience across enterprise architecture, SQL systems, Power BI, Azure, ETL, and data governance stood out. Here's the thing, that's all accurate. That is my background. My resume is public, my LinkedIn is public, anyone can read it. The scammer didn't know me. They just read my profile and wrote a targeted email designed to feel personal. Notice also no job requisition number, no link to ATS system like Workday, no Boeing.com contact information, and the signature puts the location as Bellevue, Washington, when Boeing's actual headquarters has moved to Arlington, Virginia, due to obvious tax issues. Little things, but they do add up. A day later, they sent me the job description. And I have to hand it to them. It looked good. Boeing's actual navy and gold color scheme, the real Boeing logo, connecting our world tagline, professional layout. The role was Executive Director, Enterprise Data Architecture, and the compensation, base salary, $380,000 to $480,000. Total compensation up to $1.2 million, with a $50,000 annual personal innovation budget. Quote, home office tools, resource conferences, and personal tech lab use. Let me be direct. These numbers are nowhere close to reasonable or real. Executive directors at Boeing typically earn in the $300,000 range total. A 401k match of 10 to 15%, the industry standard is 6. These numbers exist for only one reason. That one reason is to make you excited enough to stop thinking critically. But that $50,000 innovation budget, that's the trap. I'll explain exactly how that works in a moment. The $50,000 equipment trap, how it works. This is called the advance fee scam or sometimes overpayment scam. There's the normal 6-step playbook that advance fee scams use. You get initial contact, you build trust. Somebody offers a job offer, a check arrives, you send money, and then you're asked to buy from a specific vendor who is often quite in on the deal. They take your order, they get your money, and then the original check bounces, leaving you out several $1,000s. This is the same advance check fee scam that they've been doing for years. The only new twist in it is hitting the unemployed with a offer of a executive director job in a supposedly a confidential executive search. Last Sunday, I was sitting in church and suddenly I had the inspiration of how to catch it. Being a network nerd, I have who is on my phone. And so I finally ran that who is lookup on BoeingHR.com, the domain they said was their official HR address. Who is a publicly available database that shows who owns a domain, who registered it when, and with which company. Look at these two records side by side. BoeingHR.com was registered on March 14th, 2026, 11 weeks before they emailed me. It expires in 1 year because it's a burner domain, not a permanent asset. The registrar is Namecheap, a consumer-grade domain registrar. The name servers are Namecheap's own default servers, and the owner is completely hidden. The registration lists a privacy company based in Iceland called Withheld for Privacy EHF. There's no real person or organization listed anywhere. Now look at Boeing.com, registered September 2nd, 1986, 40 years ago. Managed by Mark Maunder, the enterprise-grade registrar that Fortune 500 companies use specifically to protect their intellectual property. The name servers are Boeing's own, running on the Boeing.net domain. The owner is fully and transparently listed, the Boeing Company, Seal Beach, California. And the domain has 6 lock statuses applied, meaning no one can transfer, delete, or modify it without Boeing's direct authorization. One of these domains belongs to a 100,000 employee aerospace corporation. The other was registered by an anonymous person 11 weeks ago. That was the moment I knew. The full email timeline. On June 1st is when I got that initial contact with the Boeing executive director opportunity. I was excited. It was a good really good wage. I replied positively. I expressed interest. But I also forwarded the scam to test the fake domain, and the domain did not return an error. The email server on it is live. They sent me the Boeing job description PDF and explained that the reason they were doing Gmail was because of their because they were doing a confidential search and because they didn't want it to end up in spam. I should have known that was a lie. But I sent my real resume anyway. I shared my availability. I also shared that my wife has had some issues with health and that my availability was limited. Team feedback was very positive. Will you please, can we have an interview with you at 1 o'clock on June 12th? That never happened because of the next two themes. First one was I agreed to the meeting. I asked about role and budget just to get a little more information. But then on Sunday, like I said in the previous slide, I thought to look at who is. And the scam was exposed. I actually did send them an email back with their who is record. I think that might be the reason why they stopped contacting me. And now, how to spot a fake e-recruiter scam. So what do you actually look for? Let me give you the 8 things that I'm going to be checking from now on. And I'm speaking as somebody with 35 years in tech who almost missed these. First one, check the email domain. If a recruiter from a Fortune 500 company is emailing you from Gmail, Yahoo, any free provider, that's definitely not standard practice. Real corporate recruiters use corporate emails. Run a Whois lookup. It's free at whois.com or lookup.icann.org. Takes 60 seconds. If the domain is newer than the job offer, it is fake. Then look up the job on the company's actual website. Go directly, don't click on their link. Search Boeing's careers page yourself. If the role ain't there, it don't exist. That is not always true when it comes to a confidential search, but it is certainly. But you can also call the HR department yourself and say, completely confidentially, are you running any confidential executive searches? If they aren't, I'm sorry, it's false. Find the recruiter on LinkedIn. A real hiring manager at Boeing will have a real professional history. Search their name. If the profile is sparse, new, or doesn't match the claimed role, trust that instinct. I even had one today that was linked to a real LinkedIn recruiter, although it was, I think, a fake email address. It was another Gmail address. She claimed to be recruiting me for an executive position, just like this one at Tektronix. But her role on LinkedIn was an HR recruiting for apparel companies. Tektronix is not an apparel company. I pointed that out and she ghosted me. Question. When you see inflated compensation, question it. Scammers offer more than you expect because the excitement short circuits your skepticism. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Never, ever, ever accept a check to buy equipment. Not for any job, ever. Legitimate employers either buy their own equipment and ship it to you or reimburse you through documented expense systems after you start. Be suspicious of all innovation budgets. A personal equipment stipend delivered up front before you're even onboarded is not how real companies operate. Trust the domain and not the branding. Anyone can download a Boeing logo. No one can fake a 40-year-old domain registration. So do go out to Whois and trust what you find there. If this happens to you, go ahead and take action. Stop all communication. Do not deposit any checks. Preserve all evidence. Report the scam domain to abuse@namecheap.com in this case. File some official complaints at ic3.gov. Report the fraud FTC.gov. and your state AG office if it's appropriate. Finally, contact the company's security. It's a good thing to do, and that way they're at least aware that something's out there. Do not expect any of this to do any good. Not really large amounts of good anyway. Uh, these people get thousands of these kinds of complaints a year. Finally, stay vigilant. You really want to stay vigilant of all this. The scams that are coming in for attacking job seekers are very sophisticated, professional looking, specifically targeted. AI makes it easier than ever. They find you on LinkedIn, they match your resume, they follow the script to build trust. They check you, so always use Whois to check the domains. Verify, call the real company directly if necessary, and report. Help protect others against the same scam. If nothing else, this is why I am doing this video, is because other people need to know. I'm a 35-year veteran in this industry. I've seen a lot of things change, but one thing hasn't changed. People will always try to take advantage of other people. The tools get more sophisticated, but you need to stay curious, skeptical, and don't let the excitement of a good offer shut off the part of the brain that asks questions. Thank you for watching this. If this helped you, share it, especially with anyone who's actively job hunting right now. Links to all the reporting resources will be in the description below. Well, will be in the description on YouTube at least. Take care of yourselves out there. And my company is informationr.us. I offer affordable subscriptions for tech support and for fractional CTO work. And that's my primary way of looking for work right now, because as you can see, I got some gray hair. It gets hard out there looking for work. Don't be scammed. Thank you. Have a nice day.